is not the source of your pleasure that wage war in your members. You lust and you do not have, so you commit murder. And you are envious and cannot obtain, so you fight and quarrel. You do not have because you do not ask. You ask and you do not receive because you ask with wrong motives, so you may spend it on your pleasures. And although this is dealing with the lack of humility, it ties very well into road rage, because really it's about that at the center of every quarrel or conflict is something that you're battling with on your own, not with someone else. This is something that you're battling with yourself. You want something, you want to be noticed, you want to be thought of a certain way, whatever it is, and when people don't do that, you want to force them to do it. And if they don't see you, you want to force them to see you. If they don't respect you, you want to force them to respect you. And that's not the way to do it. And you have to find out if your time management is on point, and you say that it is, then you have to find out why you feel like you're not being seen and why that bothers you so much.
Jesus, is it an internal answer then to come to grips with internally for individuals to come to grips with that, what you were just talking about?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And then stemming from that is the road rage disappears?
Yeah, you start. It's a process, and you are not alone, Jack, at all. Or Jeff, I'm sorry, you're not alone at all. You're really wrapped up in something that a lot of people experience, especially depending on the region in which you live. If you're in Southern California, there's a lot of garbage. A lot of people drive horribly there. But that's one thing. When you start to personalize it, it becomes something else. When you start to take it personally, then it becomes something else, because they don't know you. And you don't know them. You don't know what they're experiencing. You don't know what they're going through. You don't know what their day is. If someone in their life that they love is very sick, you don't know if their child is in need and they are scrambling to get to work and to get home to take care of their child. You don't know what's going on in their head. So, first of all, I think it's good for you to, whenever you get to that point of anger, start to build a backstory. I know it's going to be fake. Build a backstory about why that person might be doing it, why you might be doing it if you were in their shoes. But disconnect yourself from it being personal, and then the work that you do for yourself, Jeff, is to focus on why you get this way. And I'd say, not to put you on the couch or anything, but I would look at your relationship with your father and those types of things, because this usually stems from parental connection and the feeling of being not heard or not seen.
And that's where it maybe stem from the basic rage of whatever didn't work out when I was young.
Sure. Yeah, and you feel like you're still not being heard. There's a saying, and it's simply put, that confidence is quiet, insecurity is loud.
Oh, I like that.
And it really is. When you see confidence, there's something quiet and strong about it. And insecurity is always brash, loud, banging, look at me, see this. That's just the way it works. So whenever you tend to get loud, people get loud because they think they're not being heard. You get loud when you drive because you think you're not being seen, that no one cares about you. They're driving in front of you. They're putting your child at risk. When your child was small, they're putting you at risk. They're putting your family at risk when they put you at risk. You've worked hard to get where you are, to pay for your car, and now they're putting that at risk. All those things start building up, and then you explode.
And this has to do with that inner piece that you're talking about with the conflict with rage.
Yes, and I would say that it's a safe bet to say that it came from your youth, not being heard, or something that you battled with when you were young, but only you could be.
I'll take a look at that, Jesus, because I tell myself over every time I get into the cycle, the vicious cycle of every time it happens, and I get so upset, it just really takes me for a loop, and then I tell myself, I'm not going to do that anymore, I'm not going to do that anymore, and then sure enough, I get on the road and somebody will cut me off, or do something that's inconsiderate or unsafe, and I go and it snaps.
The fact is, a bad guy that is filled with rage isn't going to take the time to pick up the phone, to call me, and to question it. Just wouldn't. The fact that you question it, the fact that you care so much to talk yourself through all that, means that you are a very caring and deep thinking person. And people that are caring and deep thinking tend to get worked up when people aren't caring and don't think through things.
Jesus just solve the problem? Can thinking through this problem, can it solve it? Or does it have more to do with prayer and thinking, and even more?
Well, all of it plays a part, but I think for someone like yourself, talk therapy or talking through these things can be very helpful. There's practical application. You have to, don't put the weight of the world on you, but, next time you get on the road, say, today, no road rage. When somebody does something, I'm going to explain to myself, I'm going to build a backstory and say, their kid's sick with cancer, heaven forbid, and they're rushing to get home today. Whatever it is to calm you down and to keep you in a centered place so that you don't do anything stupid is the best thing. I think that if you can find a good counselor that comes from a healthy perspective, it's not a bad idea to be able to talk these things through. And maybe you can, in the time allowed, you can focus in on pinpointing as to where it stems from and why you respond that way. But I think it's great that you've pinpointed anything at all and that you say, hey, I don't want this in my life. Because it can be very dangerous, and it's one of those things that goes from, no pun intended, but 0 to 60 in a heartbeat, and then you're looking at some stupid decision.
I've heard about it happening a lot, Jesus.
Oh my gosh, people have pulled out guns, people have, done all kinds of stupid things. My producer Neil, back when he was younger and dumber, would pull over or follow people and get really irate and all those things, and it just doesn't pay off. It ends up putting you in a bad situation, ends up putting someone else. I've seen people pulled out of cars and thrown onto the street and their head just missing within inches of passing car's tire.
How's the producer doing with it now?
It's pretty much zero.
Uh-huh.
It's just not worth it.
And he worked it out like what you're talking about?
Exactly. Just you start looking at the reasons that you feel so self-centered and so locked on why the world has to worry about you. And the best thing you can do, believe it or not, is to be the best driver you can be. And understand that other people are not always going to be that person. But what most people do is they make excuses for why they drive bad, and then they get upset when other people do it. So be the best driver you can, be courteous, do the wave, smile, try and be aware of other people. That's the best thing you can do, and it starts with one individual, and then someone else does it, and it passes along, and that's the best way to do it, Jeff. But you are absolutely on that road, my friend. Again, with the puns. You are listening to the Jesus Gray Show. To ask your questions, dial 800-520-1534.
This is hard to admit, but when I was in junior high school, I was bullied so badly, I cried. Hello, I'm John Okoyan, owner of Rooter Hero Plumbing. I was named Oganis after my grandfather, but as a kid I was teased for having that name, so I changed it to John. John is the English version of Oganis, and it maintains the honor to my grandfather. My family and heritage are important to me, so staying true to myself and Rooter Hero Plumbing are important. Staying true to Rooter Hero Plumbing means being true to you and delivering world-class service. That's why my cell phone number is on the back of every Rooter Hero Plumbing business card. Call us at 866-DRAIN-77 and we'll cable your line for $77. That's 866-DRAIN-77. Thank you.
CL 102-8886.
Wealth isn't simply about money. It's more than just the numbers in your portfolio or your bank account. Wealth is all the everyday things that money enables you to do, the goals you're after, things you want to accomplish, and the life you want to lead. So how do you get there? Tune in this weekend for Everyday Wealth with Soledad O'Brien and Gene Chatsky, presented by Edelman Financial Engines. Each week, award-winning journalist Soledad O'Brien and personal finance expert Gene Chatsky will explore how our financial decisions shape our everyday lives. They'll be joined by Edelman Financial Engine's wealth planners and other guests to demystify challenges like tax-efficient investing, retirement planning, and more. They'll share knowledge and tools to manage your finances today and build wealth for tomorrow. Join the conversation. Everyday Wealth airs each weekend and will be available on major podcast platforms. For airtimes, visit everydaywealth.com.
Hey parents, have you ever wondered how to talk to your kids about the crazy things happening in the world? As great as schools can be, they often don't teach important things like hard work, how to start a business, the golden rule, or how the economy works. But kids need to learn about big ideas like these, which means it's up to you. So, how do you go about it? By telling your kids stories. And that's the power behind the beautifully illustrated Tuttle Twins books. The Tuttle Twins is a series of children's books that have sold over 2 million copies already. These books teach important ideas the teachers and textbooks don't really discuss. And they make it super easy for you to help your kids learn the values that our country was founded upon. If you want to help your kids understand how the world works, so they can be a positive part of it, go to TuttleTwinsRadio.com to get your set of books. You'll get a 35% off discount and free activity workbooks too. That's TuttleTwinsRadio.com.
Nothing says a fresh start like a new year. In 2022, Blinds.com wants to give you a brand new view with savings up to 35% site-wide. Custom window treatments are a minor home improvement with a major impact. Blinds.com makes the entire process easy, and right now, it's more affordable than ever with huge savings on premium blinds, stylish shades, and more. All backed by our 100% satisfaction guarantee. Go to Blinds.com now and save up to 35% site-wide. Blinds.com. Rules and restrictions may apply.
Sick of your dead-end job? Do you crave a career with a better work-life balance, better lifestyle, or maybe you'd like to work from home? It's a new year, time for a new career in IT. At My Computer Career, you could start your career in months, not years. Attend day or night, on campus or live online. And we've rolled back tuition to help meet the demand for IT workers. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today. It's not rocket science, it's mycomputercareer.edu.
Checking KFI traffic, we do have that crash cleared in the Westminster area. All lanes are now open, a little bit slow still as they get those vehicles off to the right shoulder. New Costa Mesa on the 405 northbound from Bristol to 73, carpool 2 left lanes shut down until 7 a.m. At New Paramount, still have a wreck on the 105 west of Paramount Boulevard, blocking the 2 right lanes. KFI in the Sky helps get you there faster. I'm Jonathan Weiss.
Old pirates, yes, they rob I, sold I to the merchant ships. Minutes after they took I from the bottomless pit. But my hand was made strong by the hand of the Almighty. We forward in this generation triumphantly. Won't you help to sing these songs of freedom? 'Cause all I ever had, redemption song.
It is the Jesus Christ Show. I am your holy host. Happy to be with you this Sunday, as I'm with you every Sunday, answering your questions and talking about the things that matter in life, and of course, the afterlife. Be bold and brave. Go to your phone with your theology question, dealing with God, religion, spirituality, worldviews, the Bible, or life situations. Obviously, during a time of crisis that's going on, give me a call, 800-520-1534. That's 800-520-1534. Walt, welcome to the Jesus Christ Show.
Thank you for taking my call.
My pleasure. How can I help you?
I don't go to church, but I do watch a particular show regularly, and often the pastor, I hear him say, absent from the body, present with the Lord.
From Corinthians,
Yeah, and I've never been able to get an answer from a minister or a pastor that was acceptable or that I understood.
Okay.
When it came to the resurrection, how do they reconcile? I mean, and I've read these books.
How do they reconcile what?
Well, if you're absent from your body and you're present with the Lord, and I've read these books where people have died and they've seen their relatives and loved ones in heaven, they recognize them. Well, how does the resurrection? God raises you from the dead, okay, and supposedly you go to heaven or you don't. If you go to heaven, you're already there. I mean, if you're absent from your body, you're already with the Lord.
Exactly. Great question too, Walt. Because it is a little confounding when you think about it that way. Not getting into the books that you've read about people who said they've been to heaven and all that. That comes into a separate thing. But let's focus on the biblical context here. There are depending on the belief. There are some people that believe that the body is 2. Some people that believe that it's 3, that the soul and the spirit are separate. I won't get into that because that complicates things. Let's look at the more mainstream belief that the body is 2. You are flesh, your vessel, and then you are spirit. Okay? Because you at least believe that much, right?
Yes.
Okay. So the language is quite specific. To be absent from the body is to be present from the Lord. So the belief is, mechanically what's going on, is the spirit instantaneously is in the presence of God. The body stays where the body stays. And not until the resurrection are they married. And it doesn't mean that you are not recognizable in your spirit form. You absolutely would be. But your body is still in the grave and buried and all of those things and will only be united at the point of resurrection. But to be absent from the body, you're leaving the body, is to be present with God in heaven. You are listening to the Jesus Christ Show. To ask your question, dial 800-520-1534.
Your own personal Jesus.
The news has been updated. Click to refresh. KFI.
And KOST HD2.
Los Angeles, Orange County.
Live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
Hi, I'm Jane Yamamoto, live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. LA County has its highest number of daily COVID deaths since last April. The LA County Department of Public Health reported 66 new coronavirus deaths on Saturday, making it the highest number in more than 9 months. Health officials say the extraordinarily high number of new cases reflects an alarming rate of community transmission. The Omicron variant is causing COVID-19 cases to increase across the nation. ABC's Zoreen Shaw says vaccinations are helping keep people out of the hospital.
Dr. John Brownstein at the Boston Children's Hospital saying the state's hospitals are struggling with the overload.
These hospitals are crushing under the weight of demand and really can't serve all patients that are in need.
The U.S. now reporting about 800,000 new cases a day, a record high and a more than 8-fold increase compared to early December.
She says doctors say the Omicron surge is not over yet. At-home COVID-19 test kits are still sold out at many places, but soon you will be able to get it for free. At-home COVID tests from the federal government will be available to order starting this Wednesday. The website is covidtest.gov. And CHP says it needs millions to help protect California lawmakers.
California Highway Patrol officials say they've become concerned for the safety of about 1,200 lawmakers and their staffs as they walk back and forth between the state capitol building in Sacramento and new offices a few blocks away on O Street. CHP has put together a plan to increase security along the walking route that would cost nearly $50 million. The lawmakers and staffers will be walking between the Capitol and their temporary offices for the next 4 years. as the Capitol building undergoes renovations that include modernizing offices and committee hearing rooms. Amy King, KFI News.
And now taking you out to a crash in Paramount on the 105.
It's going to be on the westbound side of the 105, right at Paramount Boulevard. They still have the two right lanes blocked. Traffic is backing up to Lakewood Boulevard. Looks like that crash has cleared in Westminster, 405 northbound at Westminster Avenue. All lanes are now open. And wrapping up some road work in the Costa Mesa area. 405 north from Bristol to 73. They're going to be picking up the cones there. Carpool and two left lanes were shut down until 7 a.m. KFI in the Sky helps get you there faster. I'm Jonathan Weiss.
Gettle Air Conditioning is contractor license number 1047781.
This is Ken Goodrich of Gettle Air Conditioning and Plumbing.
You've already heard the story of how my dad asked me to hold the flashlight for him at night while he worked on air conditioners. Dad knew he was dying, but I didn't. You know the story. Anyway, one of the things Dad would have me do is replace all the screws the previous repair guys left out when they reassembled the unit. My job was to find every missing screw and replace it with a brand new one. I still do that today, and so do all my guys. When motors are whirling and compressors are compressing and electrical contacts are doing their thing, those non-stop vibrations caused by missing screws will cause your system to die long before it's time. That's why we tighten your unit down to factory fresh condition on every service call. My guys are perfectionists. No squeaks, rattles, or hums. And don't forget our awesome duct tester. Gettle. Goettl. It'll keep you cool, but it's hard to spell. Call us.
Open the doors to Aaron Mahnke's Cabinet of Curiosities, a podcast that offers a rare glimpse into some of the most amazing and unbelievable stories taken straight from the pages of history. What you hear may astound you and disturb you. Tune in twice a week for bite-sized storytelling experiences that take listeners on a guided tour of the unbelievable, the unsettling, and the bizarre. Listen to Aaron Mahnke's Cabinet of Curiosities on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Switch to Spectrum Mobile and get unlimited data for only $29.99 per month each when you get 2 or more lines. You could save hundreds on your mobile bill. Plus, there are no added taxes, hidden fees, and no contracts. Try the Spectrum Mobile Savings Calculator today, and in 3 easy steps, you'll see how much you could save. Visit SpectrumMobile.com/save. Offer valid for new customers with 2 or more unlimited lines. Spectrum Internet required. Restrictions apply. Visit SpectrumMobile.com for details.
Hey parents, have you ever wondered how to talk to your kids about the crazy things happening in the world? As great as schools can be, they often don't teach important things like hard work, how to start a business, the golden rule, or how the economy works. But kids need to learn about big ideas like these, which means it's up to you. So, how do you go about it? By telling your kids stories. And that's the power behind the beautifully illustrated Tuttle Twins books. The Tuttle Twins is a series of children's books that have sold over 2 million copies already. These books teach important ideas that teachers and textbooks don't really discuss. And they make it super easy for you to help your kids learn the values that our country was founded upon. If you want to help your kids understand how the world works so they can be a positive part of it, go to TuttleTwinsRadio.com to get your set of books. You'll get a 35% off discount and free activity workbooks too. That's TuttleTwinsRadio.com.
I'm beginning to believe that other than love and religion, nothing changes your life more than moving your credit score 120 points. I'm John Hope Bryant, founder, chairman, CEO of Operation Hope, and we're working to expand and lift up your credit scores. Operation Hope is partnering with major financial institutions to bring hope inside the places where you shop and flock. Through the Hope 700 Credit Score Communities Initiative, we are helping people with free counseling, loan originations, modifications, and more. Go to OperationHope.org today. Nothing changes America like a role model. I had one growing up. My name is John Hope Bryant. I wear a suit today because my dad wore a suit when I was growing up. The kids want to be rap stars, athletes, and drug dealers all too often because that's what they see in their neighborhood. My mission now is to give them something different to see, and you play a role in it. It's called America 2020 and Hope Business in a Box Academies. Go to OperationHope.org today and join the movement. Make school cool once again. Visit us on the web at OperationHope.org.
This new year, you may be excited about the new device you got over the holidays, or your focus may be your New Year's resolutions. Make sure your new devices and your resolutions include one critical thing: protection. It's easy to be unsafe online.
every time you enter private info on that new device of yours, you might be giving up a little safety too. That's why Norton 360 with LifeLock makes it easy to help keep you safe. With device security to help block hackers from devices, a VPN for online privacy, and LifeLock identity theft protection all in one. No one can prevent all cybercrime or identity theft, or monitor all transactions at all businesses. But Norton 360 with LifeLock helps you cheers to a cyber-safe new year. Opt in to cyber safety. Save 25% or more off your first year at norton.com/join. That's norton.com/join to save 25%.
Southline weather from KFI. Today, sunny in Metro LA. Inland OC highs in the upper 60s to low 70s. A mix of sun and clouds in the valleys and IE, highs in the low 70s. Beaches, sunny and cool, highs in the upper 60s. Right now, it's 59 degrees in Gardena, 56 degrees in Burbank, 63 degrees in Whittier, and 58 degrees in Glendora. We lead local live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. I'm Jane Yamamoto.
This earth, teaching, healing, inspiring, and preparing to make the ultimate sacrifice. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish, but have eternal life. Today, you and I could talk, voice to voice, and you could ask me anything. You are listening to The Jesus Christ Show. This Sunday, as I'm with you every single Sunday right here, answering your questions and talking about things that truly matter in life, and of course the afterlife. I encourage you to be bold and brave. Go to the phone with your theology question or life situation question anywhere in the U.S. of A. Dial 800-520-1534. That's 800-520-1534. Tiffany, welcome to the Jesus Christ Show.
Hi. So I'm a mother of two young children, and I've been fortunate to be getting closer and closer to God through Christ. And, one of the Ten Commandments, as we all know, is, thou shalt not lie. And I'm having a struggle between justifying pretend and fairy tales versus lying. And, we just had Christmas, and it was a joy to share with them about the birth of Jesus and what the true meaning was. But then there's also Santa Claus. And we also had this little elf on the shelf that hung out with us and played little silly games all month.
Sure.
And then, we've got Easter coming up, and there's the Easter Bunny, and then there's, my daughter loves unicorns, and there's a tooth fairy, and those are all things that I was raised with, and I found joy in them, although, people say, okay, my parents were lying to me, there's no Santa Claus. But at the same time, they're so young, and everything is about pretend. We play, tea parties, and I pretend that the tea that she poured me is too hot, or the fire engine's racing through the living room, and we're going to go do a rescue. And so, at what point is it okay to pretend, and where does it cross the line of lying?
It is falls sort of into the category of an agreement, like when you walk into the theater, whether it be plays or whether it be television or whether it be an actual movie, whatever it is, you go to see a magician do illusions. It's all an agreement that somebody is going to lie to you, but not to hurt you. And in that context, it's more of a progressive revelation, meaning you're never going to keep the real truth from them, because eventually they're going to ask and it's going to be different. And then you get to talk about the spirit of Christmas and St. Nicholas and all these things as a progressive revelation. Just like, people get caught up in this, and I think it's really great that you